This is a vintage V100 Lemon Drop. Now, I watched a video on this once comparing it to a Gibson Les Paul Custom. I listened through the studio monitors and I swore blind that the better sounding guitar was the Les Paul Custom. I was wrong. It was this. Now, the reason seems to be these pickups. So these have a nickel cover, nickel plate. They're just made properly. And we're going to have a listen, so leave a comment, let me know what you think of the sound. Everything on full, neck pickup. That's a bit nice. Right, now the bridge. Lovely. What I have noticed, I swear this neck is thinner than my Gibson Les Paul. It feels a bit nicer. The thing that's different about this is that in the middle position, these pickups are out of phase, so it's like having the Peter Green magnet flip mod, but without having to do that mod. So that saves you a bit of time. So this should sound, well, different, if I'm being honest. Now, this was sent to me by Vintage Guitars to demo, so there's a few things on here that I've had a chat to the guys about, like these mismatched knobs. Now, a lot of these are sort of pizza green features. I think this is a brilliant idea, and I think I might do it on my Les Paul. Not that it's difficult to remember which knobs relate to which pickup, but it just makes it easier. On Peter Green's guitar, on his Les Paul, he removed the Clusen style tuners and put these sort of style ones on. So close back. These are my favourite. These are Grover tuners. These are my favourite tuners in every guitar. I've actually done the same on my Les Paul and I've done it on my SG. But to make it more authentic, what they've done is they've left the holes from having removed the old machine heads. I just think that's such a cool little touch. You may get this new guitar and you think, why has it got holes in the headstock? It's because it's made to look like it's had bits updated over time. Obviously, this one's relic, so it looks like it's played in. It looks like it's got a story, which is pretty cool. Now, the spec says it has a Graphtec nut, but it says Tusk on it. Not that that's very different, but good quality nuts, and it stops you having problems with your G-string. No one likes having problems with their G-string. This vintage V100 has a C-shaped profile, rosewood fretboard. It's also got all this accessy heel stuff so you can get up the dusty end a bit easier. And I swear this neck's a bit thinner than my Les Paul. It feels nicer because this is satin and this is nitro, but it's like glossy, so it's not sticky, but this is faster. Now, this guitar isn't particularly heavy, so it's probably got a nice amount of weight relief, but it's mahogany, but it doesn't look like mahogany. This is so light in colour, it looks like maple, but it's got the grain of mahogany. Normally mahogany's sort of a browny, or sort of a bit of a reddy hue, not quite as extreme as this. This is obviously the stain and this has been relics, but it's a really light coloured mahogany. This is a really nice looking veneer because Peter Green's Les Paul, it had the pinstriping through it, so this V100 is quite an accurate, obviously it's not going to be identical, but that's pretty close for a guitar that's sort of around 400 quid. That is really, really cool. Really impressed with that, actually. Now, I do like relicing, and this is covered in it. So where your arm goes, this is obviously worn. That's where your pick's going to wear out. The pick guard's been removed. Great idea. It should be removed off every style of this guitar. Just looks better. There's some wear around the edges. The backs are worn. That's probably to resemble buckle rash. And up the neck, just where you'd wear it out. But with a relics guitar, because it looks a bit worn, it's got a couple of sort of dinks all over it, you're not going to be as sort of worried about adding a couple more to it, which means you can just get it out of the box and play with it. This V100 seems to be a similar weight to my Les Paul. My Les Paul is fairly light at about 8.5 pounds. So this V100 must have quite a bit of weight relief, which is nice because this style of guitar can weigh up to like 14 pounds or something. And if you're doing a 3-hour gig with a 14-pound guitar, oh man, don't. You could do a 3-hour rehearsal or a 3-hour gig and not care. Oh my God, the frets. The frets on every single vintage guitar I have seen, they're just so nicely done. And I know I keep comparing this to like a Fender player. It says Fender on it, it's supposed to be good. But the frets on those are always sharp. But on the frets on these vintage guitars, they're just incredible. They're really, really nice. Makes such a difference just not having, just nice touches. It's just a nice guitar. Everything's nice. It weighs what it should. It doesn't neck dive. It's got good parts. I mean, these Grover tuners, these are my favourite. That's why I put them on every other guitar. On a 3-a-side guitar anyway. And great sounding pickups, so you don't need to change the pickups. Like, what more could you want? Like, seriously. Here's a video on the V100 reissue. It hasn't got the same pickups as this, but it's still a really good guitar. The one I tried was white and it had 8-piece binding. It looked incredible. And it's quite similar to this. I do prefer this. This has got like the Grovers that I love and the better pickups. This is brilliant. But the V100, the white one, the reissue, great guitar.